Alright, so we're on to Billy Beast and our new stud dog lineup. And the difference in all of we have a lot of great dogs off of Bill. So Cannibeast is the difference here in this dog. So it'd be important to talk about Cannibeast a little bit.
Yeah, Cannibeast, we got a number of good bitches in our pipeline from Brazil. We got a number of good animals, males and females, and on the female side, the very best. Several were quite good, but the very best was the Cannibeast female. Cannibeast was off of Cannibal. The top side of her pedigree was from my good friend Rodney out at Bulldog Barnes. Is a dog, highly titled dog called Little Monster. Little Monster was a grandson of Frisco on the top side.
Go figure. Frisco back in a Grand Champions pedigree.
There's that name popping up again. Frisco had been bred to Lizzie, who was also off of Frisco, and Pew Pew was off of Chinaman, and produced Jim Combs' champion China Girl. So there's history of those dogs being successful and producing at a high level. But getting back to Cannibeast, regardless of how we bred her, she produced high caliber physical animals that had great prey drive, great heart. They were complete dogs. And we bred her to Hickson. We got several outstanding dogs, successful dogs. We in this case we bred her back to Bushwick Bill. So we were doubling up on the blacker, but of course we had air dogs on both sides, and the Billy Beast was off of Bushwick Bill and Cannibeast, and he's a driven, super high drive, intense, physically capable animal. I feel like that I wish I had a longer list of adjectives. I wish that there was I could coin about half a dozen new adjectives that would capture the superlative nature of these animals. They are, they're in the top 1%. You go through a lot of dogs to get what we have seemingly an abundance of. But he will appear in pedigrees within the next year. Just an outstanding dog, and the genetic trail that he drags along with him is rich in some of the best dogs that ever lived.
Yeah, I think I believe in Bill as a producer.
I do too. He's turned out to be all reliable.
But a lot of people just don't like the way Bill is built. So, and a lot of people are shocked when they see Billy Beast and the way he's built. Because he's a tall, rangy, rugged dog like that. So if there were people that wanted to breed and get Bushwick Bill blood, but have like a taller, seemingly more athletic dog, I think it would be a good choice for him.
One thing I should add in here is quite a few of the dogs, Midnight Cowboy and quite a few of the Midnight Cowboy offspring are a little bit short of leg, not terribly, just a little bit. So the ideal ratio that we embrace for conformation shows between height and length is violated a bit by some of those dogs. Some of those dogs turn out to be some of the baddest dogs that ever lived. It's almost enough to make you want to rewrite the conformation standard. Some of that is indelibly written in our sense of aesthetic beauty. And some of it is the product of reasoning. There are some advantages to a shorter leg dog. It's just like there's advantages for a short arm bench press specialist. he's only having to do that, whereas the other guy's having to do that. And the same, when you look at an alligator, how in the hell can an alligator run as fast as he does? Well, the geometry in the legs is such that the amount of power that it takes to move it's like they're geared lower. It's like being low gear in a car. Obviously, it's not that extreme. A dog like Bushwick Bill, a lot of people wouldn't even say that he deviated from the norm. But there is a minor deviation in the direction of shorter legs. But then you have to mitigate that with the reality that probably 90% of what he throws will show a hint of that.
Yeah.
He throws some of the most beautiful, perfectly correct dogs you'd ever want to see. But this dog Billy Beast is an example of an animal that's possessed with prey drive, just super, super intense. Every breath he takes, he's trying to do work. And I love him. I look forward to breeding him, and I suspect that he might be in the hunt for Bushwick Bill's replacement, although Bush Hog and Rondo will give him a run for his money. I don't think it's a matter of choosing one or the other. I think it's a matter of embracing all of them, because they all are they're just another brick in the wall of great bulldogs.
You think the better structure comes from the Frisco stuff? It seems like it has fixed some structural issues with other lines.
Frisco blood has fixed a lot of stuff in a lot of lines, and there are people who have acquired Frisco blood that will slide it in there, fix their mess, and claim their mess had it all along. A lot of that's going on, but I've used it abundantly in virtually everything that I breed, because it does fix the ability to dish out whatever needs to be dished out. And certainly it made a huge impact on the Red Boys blood that we've bred by virtue of starting out with a 16th to an 8th Frisco Eli blood. And that the whole nature of that line of dogs got fixed by Mr. Frisco.
Alrighty, we are on to Big Phil, which is Kano Cannibal.
I was eager to recognize a friend years ago, Philip Bordelon, who's a professional bodybuilder down in Louisiana, outside of, I guess he's outside of Lafayette. I'm sure he'll correct me, but he is a phenomenal specimen of a bodybuilder, which is it's literally a body of work. The extent to which you dedicate yourself to doing what you're supposed to do, regardless of how much it hurts or how uncomfortable it is evidenced in a bodybuilder or a power lifter as much as it is anywhere. When you look at Phil, you see just how much character he has, because you see how much work he's done. You see how he's capable of embracing an objective and sticking to it, much like a good pit bull. So I hooked him up with a dog that he named Kano. Kano was off of the original chemo dog, and he's become a pretty famous member of their family down there. In various ways, he's demonstrated that he is among the elite of pit bulls. Super athletic, tough, relentless, but at the same time, the best friend to two little girls that you could ever imagine. He has no comfort being any distance in time or space away from those little girls, and they love him dearly, and it's the most magical thing to see the gentleness of an animal that can be so incredibly destructive. It just captures the magic of the pit bull.
Yeah. Yep. I have a short little story about Kano. If anybody's ever bought a dog from me, on my Cash App, I have this picture. Because sometimes people send things Cash App and they're like, I hope this is the right person. But there's a picture of 2 dogs being bred so they can know that this is the bulldog.
It's either a dog breeder or a pervert.
Yeah, right. Well, the funny thing about how intense Kano was, well, he's the only stud dog that just refused to step over. He would stay completely in the hunched position for 40 minutes breeding a dog. It's just the level of intensity that this dog had, among other many huge problems trying to just handle him. It's funny to see those pictures of him with children when I know how much trouble I had just holding on to him.
Yeah, he just had a triple dose of everything pit bull in him, or he has. He's a family dog back in Louisiana. Phil just sent me a little video of him trying to stalk a squirrel, doing his best imitation of a bird dog. But at any rate, Phil and I talked for years about getting him back up here for me to do some breeding with him, and we finally got around to doing it. Phil got him up here to me, and we kept him for a few months, and the family was heartbroken while he was gone, but we got some key breedings done with him, and the breeding that produced Big Phil was one of them, and the pup that we elected to keep out of that as a replacement or as a reservoir for the Kano genes was Big Phil, and he's lived up to everything we hoped for. He's very much like Kano, maybe not quite as hard-headed, but just as every bit as capable otherwise. And expect him to pop up on the breeding page here in the near future.
Yeah, he's grown into some hard-headedness in the last 6 to 8 months for sure. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So after Big Phil, we have Jack Flash, and this was it was just a miracle of a breeding to get Jack Sparrow bred back to Birdie Sparrow, who has a really successful brother.
Yeah, there's we did the breeding of a Red Boy Dynamite female named Tammy. Sent her down to my good friend Alberto down at Evolution Kennels, who has always gone the extra mile for me in every way, and that situation was absolutely a good example of it. Had a female in heat that I wanted to breed to Jack Sparrow. Jack has some blood in him that's pretty dear to my heart, and so I sent her down, and he.
What is that blood? Sorry to interrupt.
Well, that goes back into the Red Pirate blood, and back behind that.
Golden Boy to Pinky 2 is like a tombstone. You've told me stuff about Golden Boy too.
Yeah, what I would have told you was that Pat, after having originally advertised Patty's litter as being off the Tombstone Red Baby, later in the conversation years later said, well, actually those dogs are off of Golden Boy and Pinky too, instead of Tombstone to Red Baby.
And Golden Boy to Pinky 2 is what made Garner's Patty.
That's what he was saying, but then I wondered, is he doing the old double back? Is he saying, is he trying to not have somebody like me out here with an actual Tombstone Red Baby dog?
So you think that Garner's Patty was probably Tombstone to Red Baby, or you just don't know?
I don't know, and I don't really care.
Yeah.
I just realized either one could be explained. There would be a motive to go either way, And the dog produced his ass off, and I was happy to have him. Although I did breed him to Abernethy's Molly. One time got 2 dogs that weren't worth a damn.
Okay. Strange, but
Yeah.
but in the Jack Flash and the Red Pirate stuff, it has Garner's Patty to Hollingsworth's Ruby.
Okay, so mixed up in all of that was
Here you go. This is just the pedigree if you want to look at it. Mix-ups are the best part.
yeah, the interesting conversation that I had with Alberto at Evolution Kennels was regarding a breeding that was done with Lady in Red. That was Hollingworth's foundation bitch, and there was one time that she was bred to a dog that he absolutely felt a need to tell me that this breeding was done, but he couldn't tell me who it was. And it was, he says, if you could imagine the most perfect breeding in the world for this bitch, well, we got a chance to make it. This dog was being moved up the East Coast from some point in Florida, I think, to some point in the Northeast. And just at that time, Lady in Red was in heat. And they did the breeding. And the way Ernest Hollingsworth described the situation to me, it left no doubt in my mind that she was bred to buck.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That was the ultimate breeding to be done with her. And so none of this stuff was registered as being alpha buck and Lady in Red. But maybe one of the other breedings was actually buck to Lady in Red. And I had talked to Alberto about it probably a decade ago, and that's why I'm having to reflect on it a bit. But that stuff is, whatever that would have been, is captured in the Jack Sparrow dog.
Mm.
And that's why I had a special interest in breeding 2 Jack. And so I sent a really good bitch down that was off of Red Boy. And out of that litter we got a lot of those dogs were just kept for brood. But nevertheless, we got a title dog. And the best female in that litter, and it was a sizable litter. Let me add that Bert went the extra mile in getting all the breeding done, and very few people will treat you the way that he's treated me. He's been outstanding in every way. But anyway, we got the breeding done. She had the nice litter, and then later on, he recognized the fact that I had a special appreciation for Jack, and as Jack got older, he contacted me with a proposition that he suffers in the Texas heat, and we were having some seriously hot summers down there, and so he sent him up here to stay with me, and he was able to send people to breed to him, and we certainly honored that. But we, after a period of time, we determined that he had a cancerous tumor, and he didn't have long to live, and we checked him, and his sperm count was still high.
Yeah.
So, not, what was it, 2 weeks before he died, we bred him back to his daughter. Birdie came in heat.
Yeah, well, the crazy thing was both Tammy and Birdie Sparrow came in heat in the last month of his life. You did both breedings. Tammy didn't take, so then we were like, shit.
Yeah. So we didn't really expect
yeah,
Birdie
how is
to-
Birdie Sparrow going to take? Then she had a litter of like 8 or 9 or something crazy.
Yeah.
2 weeks before he was dead.
Yeah, and all of them looked just like him.
Yeah.
But there was this one special male that very early on announced to his litter mates that I am that alpha SOB, and
Yeah.
you will honor it. And it just felt like he had a home here.
Yeah.
You get one that has that kind of presence about him. So his name's Jack Flash, and we're thrilled to have him. He's super athletic, beautiful, super intense. Just real proud to have him. I feel like we captured lightning in a bottle with him. He is extraordinary specimen, and I've got to thank Alberto to the nth degree for all the extra miles he's gone on my behalf.